It's so good to be here. We've had a pretty nice day in New York, and now we're going to have a nice evening, and we'll all remember where we were this last Friday in June, summer 2015. We're celebrating the presence of and the newest album of Marley. The album's called Maestro. I think I read it's his 6th album. I just know it's been a lifetime of him devoted to making music and making us feel good and all kinds of different emotions that are good from his work, from his music, from the sacrifices that he makes, and just the dedication, the livecation, I should say, to making good music. So it's good to be here. Thank you all for coming. I know it's New York, you have choices. So there has to be a lot of love in the room because we all decided to be here. I'm very honored to right now introduce to you Marley. Make some noise, Apple. Yeah. Hey, Kimani. Good to see you again. Good to be here with you.
Good to be here with you.
So Maestro is the title, which I think means master. Right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about the title of the album.
Oh, about the title. Well, the title was actually a nickname given to me when I was about 14, 15 years old by my cousin. And so for the album, I think I was just going through the process of trying to find a name for the album, and decided to title it Maestro because I feel as though this body of work really sums up who I am as an artist and as a producer and a musician. So Maestro it is.
I'm looking at the artwork because it's just available now as a pre-order on iTunes. So I really just saw, you gave me the album just about an hour ago.
Yes.
So it's good to see it. And there was a time when you didn't use your last name. Yeah. So talk about the progression and what that decision was.
All right, not using my last name for me was really about establishing Kimani as an artist and not just another Marley. You know what I mean? So for me, it not using the last name was because I had a point to prove, that I was in this profession, I was in this business, not because, I'm from a great legacy with a great last name, but because I believe as though I am talented enough and I have enough things to say to be an individual, to be an artist that stands on his own, and then have the last name be the icing on the cake, so to speak.
I hear you. And you're a songwriter as well. Does writing get different? Does the process get different? Is it the same as it was when you were starting out, or?
For me, the process is the same. The process is the same. There are many processes that I go through as far as writing is concerned. You have some songs that I write, what you would say, on a freestyle vibe. You have some songs that I'm actually jotting down notes. You get a nice little line here, or you're in a conversation and someone says something, so you jot down these notes. And I've actually created a few songs strictly off of notes that I've jotted down throughout a month or 2 months period. So for me, the process is always different.
The song Get High.
Yeah.
With that amazing opening line. One big body girl, me a wine Where did that come from?
You know what? I can tell you, I think you know me for some time.
I've never heard you talk about one big body girl.
But you know that I've always been on the edge. I've always, I've always pushed those boundaries of not being confined to this box of having to be, one way. For me, that was it's just a vibe, and it's something that I would say naturally to a friend or in a dance hall or whatever it is. And so I'm not afraid to be true to myself. I'm not afraid to speak it as it is. You know what I mean? I didn't speak it with the intention of insulting anyone. I used the big B. I didn't use the other B word, which I will never use that B word. But the big watch girl, I get away with that one.
Yeah, you get away with it. Clean. But there are also a lot of love songs on this album. In fact, it opens all the way with a love song. So there's a propensity for romance on this album that I hadn't really sensed in a whole body of work. You've certainly always made love songs.
Right.
And if we think of love in many different ways,
Right.
there have been many songs about love. But if we speak in terms of manauman, relationship, love, there's a bunch of them on Maestro, which I love.
Yes, there are a bunch
Ladies,
of
do you
them.
like love songs? Yeah.
Rasmantic love songs. Not romantic love songs, but rasmantic love songs. There's a difference, right?
Yes, I.
You know, for me, it's you have to pay attention to the market. You have to pay attention to your fan base. You have to pay attention to who is paying attention to you. And therefore, I've come to the realization that I have a lot of female fans. And so it's important that I make music that appeal to the female crowd, right? To my female audience. I say it all the time, you know, if I never have to speak to an ex-man again in my life, that would be a lovely day.
Talk about fancy things. Another song on the album, I think you say, all I want to do is make love to you.
Yeah.
So that's another one. Like, she's not interested in things so much.
Yeah, she's not interested
as you
in
material.
And that is what, you know, I think that is what we're all looking for, is someone just to love you for you, you know what I mean, and not for the things you have obtained, not for your status, but for you, the person. And, you know, and then the fancy thing is a little edgy too, because it have this little dancehall feel to it, while, you know, being, I guess, positive.
As a songwriter, though, you found it necessary. You found a space for a song that talks about being loved for you, not so much for things. And certainly you're from one of the most visible families. So has that been a struggle like on Dry Land, like where you don't know if someone's coming at you for you or for fancy things?
Oh, whoa. Well, I guess we face that, but you know, I'm a very simple, laid-back kind of person. You know what I mean? I don't really dabble in the fancy things. I don't own a lot of fancy things. You know what I mean? So. But
you found this girl exceptional, or the subject girl exceptional, because she wanted just you, not fancy things.
Right. And I mean. It's a reality that some people are attracted, some people are attracted to what you have and not who you are. So for me, it's always been important to be true to me, you know what I mean, and never pretend to be anyone else. And you know, I have somewhat of a strong personality, so it's either you're going to love me or you're not going to like me at all.
Lots of people love you, Kimani.
There's
some featured artists that it shows a mutual regard, their regard for you and your regard for them. And those featured artists that I can think of are Krisha Turner, your brother Damien, Matis Yahoo, Gentleman. I think that's everyone. Did I leave anyone out? Probably.
Yes, that's it. And we have a deluxe edition to the album, and that has Gramps Morgan on it.
Oh, nice. So talk about working with Matis Yahoo and German-based reggae star Gentleman.
Well, interesting, because I wrote this song. Well, I actually had the opportunity to meet Matis through a mutual friend in Miami. And so we went into the studio with Tony Kelly, who is a top dancehall producer in Jamaica. And we didn't really have an idea of what it is we were going to write. So Tony bring up this track, and we decided, all right, let's write something and see what happens. And, you know, he went to one corner like it's a boxing match. I went to the next corner. And we started writing, and you know, when we finally decided to approach the microphone, it was the irony was that we actually wrote a song that was perfectly matched. And we wrote this song called We Are the Voice of Love, We Are the Voice of Peace, yes, we are who we are. So I did this song, was looking to get it, to clear it for release, and was having some issues with management from Matis Yahoo. I decided at the point that I didn't want to lose the song, because the song meant so much to me, you know, from where it was coming from and what it's speaking about. So I decided that, all right, before I lose the song, let me approach gentleman, seeing it.
Let's add more lawyers and managers.
Well, it seems as though, you know, Mattis wouldn't make the album, so let me call gentleman and see, you know, what we can work out. So I called gentleman, and gentleman did the track, did the 2 verses on that particular song. And as he was finished, Mattis called me back to say, yo, don't worry about it, me make sure I say it clear. And so then for me, that was very, it was a moment that made me just, that nothing is by chance. You know what I mean? Exactly what happened was what's supposed to happen. And this song, it's speaking about the social issues that we're going through now, both socially and politically, and the unity that we need to get through this. So for me, it was how great to have Mattis, who is Jewish, gentleman who is German, and that whole history. And, you know, the little Rasta youth out of Jamaica singing about, we are the voice of love, you know, we are the voice of hope, yes we are, who we are.
And it's become an anthem for the transatlantic slave monument at the UN? Or
yes, at the UN, at the United Nations, that's coming up on the 30th.
And you'll perform it together for the first time?
Yes, for the first time.
So exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited, looking forward to it.
Because you haven't performed it as yet?
Not at all. None of the songs I've performed as yet.
Publicly?
Publicly.
So what y'all gonna do when them love songs they reach people picnic? Them hot, you know. Those songs are so hot.
Yeah.
You ready?
I hope so.
I know you are. We're also gonna take your questions and...
The song that, of course, Rossmantic. I love Rossmantic, but...
Malika.
Hey. I also love Love Overall. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about what inspired you to write that song.
Love Overall?
And what inspired it?
Well, Love Overall, the title is actually from, as you know as well, is from my foundation. I have a foundation called Love Overall Foundation, which is LOAF. And, you know, for me, LOAF is something very dear to my heart. LOAF is
tell folks
a charity.
What it stands for.
Yeah, Love Overall Foundation. So it's a charity that me and a friend of mine put together to really give back to the community. And we started some works in Jamaica by rebuilding the all-age school that I went to, you know, sending down computer equipment and, you know, so on and so forth. And for me, it was important because I remember as a child growing up, you know, I'm from very humble beginnings. So I remember as a child growing up having these ideas and you know, just wanting to be heard, wanting to be given an opportunity, wanting a chance, and not being given that chance. So for me, you know, knowing what it feels like, being in that particular situation, I wanted to be someone that can help change the lives of this younger generation that may have a talent and don't know that they possess this talent. You know,
Did Loaf come before or after you became an author?
Loaf,
you knew I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, Loaf was before.
Was it really?
Loaf was before. We wasn't on paper as yet. We wasn't incorporated as yet. But you know, the works has been going on from long before.
Yeah, no, your family's known for its generosity, and you yourself for sure. What was the reaction to the book while we have you here?
The book. The book, you know what? I've never really had someone to read the book and tell me that they didn't enjoy it.
No, the book was great.
You know, for me, the book was just, it was my truth. It's my story. Well, it's a part of my story.
Meaning there'll be another one?
Maybe, you never know. You never know. And so the book, I think a lot of people thought that the book stirred up some controversial issues between me and my family, which is incorrect. You know, we all have our differences. We all view things different, but we all walk our own walk, you know, and for me, it was important for me to let my fans, my friends, the audience who take the time to listen to Kimani to get a better understanding of who Kimani is. I think there was a lot of slack in the early years, you know, singing some songs where, you know, you have the critics that say, well, how can you sing about the struggle when you're a Marley and you're this and you're that and, you know, the silver spoon and everything else. So, you know, I had to write this story to let them know that I'm from very humble beginnings, and what I speak about, what I sing about in my music and speak about is from a first-hand point, a first-hand point of view. It's not from me listening to other people sing about this or speak about these things. And you know, for me, that was just the book in a nutshell. And
it was a great book. Yeah. I think it's a must-read biography.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, KJ.
Hey, Kimani.
Everybody in here.
It looks like it.
So you talk about a lot of messages and themes in your album, Maestro. Speaking with Pat, you talked about unity and you talked about We Are the Voice. Does that seem to be the overall message of the album that you delivered?
That is definitely the overall message. Is really speaking about the unification. It's speaking about, you know, being strong and rising up for a cause as not as a race or a religion, but as a people. You know what I mean? As human beings. And you know, and you know, the love songs, like I say, is very important to get to that female audience.
I still think it's a big move that there's so many love songs on the album. You haven't done that before.
Nah.
Yeah, so it's a good thing. Any other questions?
Let me change the subject a little bit.
Change it then.
Tell me what inspired you to write about Big Body Girl? Because let me tell you something. A lot of the Americans in here, some of them may get offensive, but I'm from Antigua, you from Jamaica.
Yeah.
So when you talk about Big Body Girl, what inspired you to write that song?
I mean, it's just a vibe, and it's a big body girl. I mean, listen, that word is used in Jamaica very frequently by everyone. It's nothing derogatory.
No, it's used in Antigua a lot too.
Right, well, there you go.
Especially in soca, in it playing soca.
You understand me now? So you like the song?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that is what I'm talking about.
It's a great song.
Yeah, man, I give thanks.
All right, God bless you.
Yes, sir.
Good
yes,
question.
Yes,
He has a good laugh on him, too. Every time he said Big Body Girl, he went, oh.
Bring back memories, eh? All right, Poppy. Well, hello there.
All the way from Florida.
All the way from Florida, yes.
When can we expect another movie, Kimani?
A movie? Oh, wow.
Shatas 2, 3, 4, 5.
2, been
3, 4, 5.
You know, we've been talking about Shatas 2 for quite some time. I thought it was going to happen last year and ran into some red tape contractually from Shatas 1. So hopefully by the end of this year, next year, you know, but they're still working on it. The script is there. It's a wonderful script. I've had the opportunity to read it. So it's a great script. And it's just really, you know, locking down that date, you know, getting some of these issues that we have straightened out, which I think we're more than halfway through that red tape now. And so hopefully by the end of this year, sometime next year. That's for Shatas 2. But I also have another project on the table right now that I'm looking into, and hopefully that will shoot for certain the end of this year. So, I'm working.
So we'll see you on the big screen again soon.
I hope so.
That's good.
I hope so.
I loved One Love, too.
One Love is a nice story.
That's a nice story as well.
So why am I for write love songs?
Hey, Kimani.
Yes, brother.
I wanted to ask you, not, sorry, but your father had one of the most recognizable voices ever.
Yeah.
In all types of music.
Yeah.
So if I wonder if there ever been any competition between you and your siblings on who actually sounds more like Bob? Because for me, like you and, you know, I mean, because that's a amazing thing when we listen to this music, because a lot of your vibe still reminds me of awesome Bob Marley music. Mm-hmm. You know, so sometimes when I hear your voice and Steven's voice, you guys have, you know, sometimes I even have to take a double take to find out.
Well, that's what I was, no, but there's no competition to see who sounds like him. Yeah. But me and Steven actually sing in the exact same key. So, you know, his vocal is probably a high G where mine is a lower G. So, you know, our tone is, I think mine is a little bit more raspier than his, but it's pretty much the same, huh?
But two wicked voices.
Yeah, because sometimes I hear him and thinks you're me, you know.
That's what I mean. That's the double take I have to take sometimes. But amazing stuff.
I went to do that. Oh, no, I don't mean that.
No, but it's natural. I'm sure you sound like your dad, or you have siblings that sound like you. So people do make a big deal about the similarities, but it's genetic.
Genetics.
Who should they sound like?
Hi, Kamani.
Hello, lovely.
Yes.
Your voice nice and soft.
I know, right?
Oh God, because you don't know.
Let me know.
Your song, all the nobody nothing know. Send me on your touch. Nobody nothing know. Okay. Anyway, your video, well, all the way.
Yeah.
That video is so beautiful. I just want to know how you felt making it. I mean,
that for me was that was a wonderful experience. You know, it's funny because I got tired of tourists telling me about these precious little spots that we have in my own country that I haven't been able to experience for myself. And so it was important to get out to the Reach Falls and, you know, get out in Portland to, forget the name of the beach there, out to Blue Hole and so on and so forth. So for me, and then the next thing was that I think a lot of times when you see videos from Jamaica, you always see the garrison, you know, we always see the trenches, whether it be Trenchtown or Tivoli. So we always seeing the zinc fence and Jamaica is more than that. So I wanted to highlight what paradise, you know, what paradise is for me.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Maestro's the new album. You can pre-order it now. Please do.
Album bad, you know?
It's really sweet.
Album bad, man. Shot. Thank you.